Good night and welcome to Benalmádena's first English news broadcast. Digital Costa del Sol brings you every Friday all the information about this week's news. A demonstration marched the streets of Málaga last Sunday for the International Women's Day. Convened by the feminist and associative women's movement, it started at Alameda de Colón and finished on Plaza de la Constitución.
Around 15,000 persons participated last Sunday on the March 8 feminist demonstration, parading the streets of Málaga in the middle of a great festive atmosphere. For more than 2 hours, thousands of protesters demanded gender equality and rights with banners, dances, and even batucadas. The demonstration, convened by the feminist and associative women's movement in Málaga, departed at 6 p.m. from Alameda de Colón and concluded at Plaza de la Constitución, where a reivindicated manifesto was read. The march crossed Muelle de Heredia, Paseo de los Curas, Paseo del Parque, and Calle Larios without incidents. During the entire journey, many messages could be read alluding to women's sexual freedom and the wage gap. To warm the atmosphere before the start of the march, Comisiones Obreras distributed chocolate and cake among the attendees, and the different batucadas started their performing their first songs. In an effort to avoid incidents at the head, the organizers set a safety cord so that no one could stand in front of the main banner. Behind them, we could see different groups such as the Women Journalists Movement, Rural Women Association of Malaga's Feminist and Associative Movement of Women. In the march also participated numerous groups of elderly people or with some type of disability. The protesters arrived at the stage set up in the square around 8 p.m. and from there they claimed, among other measures, a society free of oppression, exploitation and sexist violence, the applications of effective measures against sexist aggression or sexual discrimination in the classroom, and not allow a single setback in women's rights. With great energy and desire, the feminist movement of Málaga once again measured its strength in the traditional manifestation of the International Women's Day. Although the vigor of the message on real equality between women and men transcend official data and figures. The fact is that the call did not reach the levels of the last year, with the streets of the historic center overflowed. On this occasion, more than 15,000 protesters joined the march to demand, with the same playful and vindictive spirit, the end of gender inequalities. On the causes of this lower influx to the demonstration, they mainly respond to purely objective reasons, such as the coincidence of the march with a Sunday afternoon when, in 2019, was on Friday and with a general strike. Another of the factors that played against is the good weather. At the edge of 6 in the afternoon, the thermometer recorded more than 18 degrees, and the option of the beach is weighed on the decision of many citizens who, perhaps in other circumstances, would have come to the march. And thirdly, it is not a secret that there is some prevention against the coronavirus crisis and the risk that these mass acts represent. In fact, you could some attendees participating with a mask.
The Bilbil Castle hosted on Wednesday the Institutional Act for International Women's Day, an event that serves to promote equality and highlight the work done by women on the municipality.
The Institutional Act organized by City Hall for Women's Day was celebrated this week at the Bilbil Castle, a beautiful event that leaves a very positive balance with a large participation and influx of public, all with a common goal to promote equality. Benalmádena's mayor and councilman for equality, Victor Navas, presided over the event.
Inclusive language is a great conquer on the fight for equality, and also the Royal Language Academy reports that it is enough to use masculine to refer to women and men as a whole. It doesn't affirm that the opposite is wrong. With that being said, one of the greatest communication guidelines asserts that only what is mentioned or named occurs. If we want to give visibility to women and break certain gender roles, the use of inclusive language is essential to give presence and visibility to women. Let's practice inclusive language.
El uso del lenguaje inclusivo es fundamental para dar presencia y visibilidad a la mujer. Practiquemos el lenguaje inclusivo.
The mayor was accompanied at the table by the president of the Arroyo Benalmádena Women's Association, Encarnación Jiménez, ACEP's president, Rosa González, and the Democratic Women Movement president, Sandra García. During the event, the prizes of the photography contest of gender equality were awarded, with Javier Yarnoz Sánchez winning with his photography Padres y Madres.
Trabajemos juntos.
Let's work together towards a world where the empowerment and dignity of all people, men and women, prevails.
Hombres y mujeres.
The Clara Campoamor Municipal Gender Equality Prize was also awarded. This recognition has a special relevance since what is intended is to publicize and recognize people and/or entities that work for equality in our municipality. Among the projects presented, finally the winner was the Atlético Benalmiel, giving also a special recognition to Benalmádena Readers Club.
Women dream with real equality, not a theoretical amalgam. Women get paid an average of 4,915 euros less than men for doing the same job.
The Arroyo Benalmádena Women's Association gave its prize to Aran Anton, a writer that has been living at the municipality for a long time, fighting for equality with the association through her workshops.
Anyone who is a Democrat will understand that feminism is a peaceful movement that fights for the right of men and women equally. We cannot hate men. We have them inside us for 9 months. We give birth to them and we raise them.
The ACEP also gave their business women recognition to Daniela Raimi, manager at Old Grill Burger Gourmet, and to the business trajectory of Mariluz Márquez, owner of the Márquez Dance School. The act was closed by the mayor, who emphasized avoiding new denialist speech and continuing the fight for equality.
Navas and Cortés traveled to Madrid on Monday to meet with technicians of the Environment Ministry in order to speak about the construction of the semi-submerged breakwaters and the Marimar residence demolition.
Benalmádena's Mayor Víctor Navas and the Councilwoman for Beaches, Encarnación Cortés, held a meeting with technicians from the Environment Ministry to move forward the construction of semi-submerged breakwaters. Both representatives traveled to Madrid to the facilities of the Ministry for Ecological Transition and the Demographic Challenge to know firsthand the status of the semi-submerged breakwater project that will be located on the beach of Malapesquera, and also to insist on the will of the City Council to advance financing for the breakwater of Santa Ana. We had the opportunity to ask the mayor about it on City Hall.
Prácticamente nos contaron.
They told us what it has been done these last few months on regard to the status of the semi-submerged jetty project that will be located on Malapesquera Beach, where a protected species has appeared, making necessary a new medioambiental impact study that is already on its allegation process. And from there we will be able to licitate the works.
Pero ahora surge otro problema que es.
We also have a problem because there's no state budgets yet, what makes difficult finding funds to initiate it. The ministry also raises the possibility that the City Council advance the financing of the jetty that will be located on the beach of Santa Ana.
Son proyectos que venimos trabajando ya.
These are projects that we have been working on for a while, but the administration have become extremely slow, maybe because of excessively protective process. And a project that should have been done in a few years goes way further than that. But the idea is to finish those projects on this term to protect our littoral coast.
The project of the semi-submerged breakwater of Malapesquera has suffered delays since January 2019, mainly due to the lack of budgetary allowance in the general state budgets, a consequence of the political instability that has affected the government. They also used this meeting to raise the possibility that the City Council will advance the financing of the breakwater that would be placed on the beach of Santa Ana. The good economic state in which the municipality is right now will allow to measure this investment, which is pending a report of the Marine Strategies Plan. Other issues that have been discussed at the meeting have been the demolition of the Marimar residence, which is still awaiting for the pertinent reports of the Junta de Andalucía, and the contributions of some of our beaches that will continue to be necessary until the installation of the breakwaters.
After the cancellation of events and the rise on the number of cases in Spain, the Hotel Confederation has requested an urgent measure package to palliate the negative effects of the coronavirus crisis.
The number of patients affected by the COVID-19 coronavirus continues to grow on Malaga, accumulating already 59 positives by Wednesday after the 17 notified on Tuesday evening. The Ministry of Health confirmed that there were 10 more infected patients, 5 suffer from pneumonia and are admitted on different hospitals on the area. In Torremolinos, a group of 9 foreign tourists staying at a hotel have been isolated after confinement as asymptomatic positive cases of the coronavirus. The health authority advises in these situations home isolation, in this case hotel, given its status as tourists. So they will be kept them isolated in the rooms during the quarantine of 14 days, since the last contact with the person that infected them. The Hotels and Tourist Accommodations Spanish Confederation held an extraordinary meeting of their executive committee on Monday to assess the measure approved by the Ministers' Council. They've shown its absolute support for sanitary measures recommended by the state government, and their president, Jorge Marichal, explained that they are aware that it is an episode of national and global public health and that hoteliers are responsible with this situation in which we must be side by side with administrations. However, given the economic impact that this health crisis has directly on the national tourism sector, CEHAT demands the stage a package of urgent measures to palliate the negative effects of the crisis. Hoteliers request the payment deferral of Social Security fees to alleviate corporate treasury problems. Also, the deferral of other local taxes or municipal fees. Another of the measures that hoteliers propose to the government is to enable an extraordinary line of finances through the eco-funds with soft loans to overcome situations of lack of liquidity, especially for those establishments that have invested on their improvement for Semana Santa. On the other hand, as measures to protect employment throughout the sector, it is proposed to expedite the processing of temporary employment regulation files, is in the pickup of salary increases included in collective agreements, and that the cost of processing the sickness leave due to COVID-19 be assumed by the state. Also, given the temporary cancellation of the Inserso program, CEHAT understands the decision and assumes it with responsibility, but asks the government to detail the operative that must be carried out to know how to act all times with customers, as well as to know the cancellation policy that must be applied by companies. Currently, 320 hotel establishments and 110 spas participate in the Inserso program in Spain, which together offer almost 1 million places. CEHAT represents the entire Spanish accommodation sector: hotels, tourist apartments, campsites and resorts, and spas. It is made up of more than 15,000 establishments in 51 national, provincial, regional and local associations throughout the Spanish territory.
Holiday World celebrated a new edition of the Littoral and Half Marathon Race, a sport and benefit event that brought to Benalmádena more than 1,300 participants wanting to enjoy this solidarity run.
The Holiday World Coast Race took place last Sunday on Benalmádena with a record of participation, with more than 1,300 runners. The test, which include a 5-kilometer race, another of 10, and for the second year a half marathon, is organized by the hotel complex that gives its name to the competition in collaboration with the City Hall of Benalmádena. The race started at 10 in the morning, although traffic cuts in the surrounding areas began at 9 in the morning, and already at 9:30 we could see loads of participants of all ages preparing on the meeting point. This test, a family entertainment event, has grown bigger over the years, raising its participation numbers. The benefits go entirely to the Fundación Proyecto Hombre Málaga, which fights addictions. The 5-kilometer route that lead the participants along the Nacional 340 from the Elephants Roundabout to the Trocadero restaurant, and the 10 kilometers follow the same path to the roundabout on Avenida de las Palmeras. The half marathon reached the descent to the seafront past the Bilbil Castle. From there, they went to Puerto Marina, going around twice. Then they went down to the beach by the Yacht Club to go back to the boardwalk at the 8th of the Triton Hotel, returning by the same route. Among the participants, we could see many familiar faces, such as Benalmádena's mayor, Víctor Navas, who attends spoke with us when he reached the finish line.
Bueno, ha sido una experiencia increíble.
An amazing experience. A race of this caliber on Avenida del Sol at Benalmádena Costa is a great experience to be enjoyed. An amazing day with amazing news, promoting healthy lifestyle habits to the benefit of Proyecto Hombre. Very exciting, and also today, March 8, International Women's Day, reivindicating true equality amongst men and women.
Finally, after the race, the organization held an event for all participants and family members at the Holiday World Beach Club with an awards ceremony with music and entertainment.
And these are today's headlines. Málaga fights for equality. Full house at Bilbil Castle for the Women's Day Act. Navas travels to Madrid to push project for our beaches. Spain starts suffering the sanitary crisis. Success of participation on the literal race. The weather forecast for the weekend is medium to high cloud skies, decreasing temperatures on the regions of Ronda and Antequera and unchanged in the rest, west component winds on the western coast, and variable slacks in the rest, tending in the afternoon to the east or southeast component in all areas. And that's all. Thanks for watching us, and remember, you can stay updated on our website or social media profile on Facebook. Have a good night and enjoy the weekend.